Happy Shanty-Day number 267. I'm Scott.
I'm Sagan.
And we're siblings. And we
sing festive sea shanties and festive sea shanty adjacent music. At least for the month of December. Maybe even longer.
And it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Woo! And we've got a really old one.
We do. We have a super old one. So the version of this song that's usually sung in modern times is based off of one that was published in 1521. However, it dates back to the people that it comes from, the Anglo-Saxons, or at least it's assumed to be the Anglo-Saxons.
Attributed to them.
Dates back to the 5th century. So
a couple of years ago.
Yeah. A few. So this is the Boar's Head Carol, not about the brand. It is not about the brand, but rather the...
I hadn't even made that connection. It's not about ham?
No, it's not about him.
That's a bummer.
Well, I mean, I guess boar
technically,
does.
sort of, yeah.
It sort of is.
Yeah.
But so there was the ancient tradition of sacrificing a boar and presenting its head at the Yuletide feast was one that was sort of, along with a lot of other pagan beliefs and whatnot, appropriated by the church to bring more people over to their side around this time of year. So the tradition was carried out with the intent of imploring Freyr, who is a widely attested god in Norse mythology associated with sacral kingship, virility, peace, and prosperity, with sunshine and fair weather, and with good harvest. So god of a lot of different good things, all things that you would want,
right, exactly.
Heading into the new year.
Yep.
To show favor in the new year. And the carol itself is really interesting because there's some Latin in it. There's a bit of Latin in it, and but it's used in some interesting ways enough that it's sort of quantified as what's called a macaronic song. And macaronic usually refers to language, but a mixture of language, oftentimes bilingual puns, correct?
Yeah, right.
Or situations in which the languages are otherwise used in the same complex. If any of you are Rammstein listeners, they have a lot of that, especially in some of their more recent stuff.
I was going to say, and also you hear it
double
in
meanings.
Like K-pop and J-pop and things
Mm-hmm.
like that too, where you have like the verses will be in Korean or Japanese, but then the choruses will sometimes be in English.
Correct.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, and sometimes even, as is the case with the Boar's Head Carol, basically in the same line,
right.
We'll switch between the two languages.
Them, yep.
Now, luckily, you're not going to have to learn a ton of Latin in order to sing this. Only the chorus.
You can do it.
Which can do it. So the words
Lyrics are down below.
Correct. So
yep,
the pronunciation is Caput, apri, defero, which translates into the boar's head I bear. And then the second line of the chorus is Reddens, laudes, Domino. Am I pronouncing that correct? Yeah. Which says...
You can flip your R's. It's always...
Reddens, laudes, Domino.
Latins always appreciate that.
Correct. Latins always appreciate that.
The people that speak Latin.
The Latins.
Yeah, the people that speak Latin.
Which translates to giving praises to the Lord. And there's there's 3 verses, and each of them ends on a Latin or mostly Latin phrase. The first ends on the phrase Quot estis in convivio, which translates to as many as are in the feast. The second line actually is the one that starts in English and goes into Latin. It says, "Let us servire cantico," which is "Let us serve with a song," and then the last line, the brain fried there, translates to or is in Reginensi atrio.
Yep.
Which interestingly enough. And here this is really interesting because it translates into in the Hall of Queens, but because it is a British carol, it is so they have slang term referenced Queen's College in Oxford in Latin by simply referring to it as Queen's.
Right, and that would have been obviously a more modern update.
Correct.
Because Queen's College wasn't founded until after the 5th century.
Correct.
But yeah, some interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine, the Queen's College students sitting around singing this over the holidays and things.
Yes, and it's very rousing. It's got sort of this almost like a timpani backbeat to it. Very very sort of stately, ideal music for presenting a boar.
Indeed.
So the chorus musically goes like this. Caput, apri, defero, Reddens, laudes, Domino. Is it? One more time?
Yeah, one more time. Yeah.
Caput, apri, defero, Reddens, laudes, Domino.
Not like dominoes.
No. It's interesting. Singing Latin is so much easier for me than speaking it. Like, when I speak it, I'm like, am I saying this right? But then when I sing it, I'm like, I know I'm doing this correctly.
Well, I know that there are people out there that are very passionate about Latin as a spoken language, and good on you. But our experience with Latin as singers is usually in that form. It's usually sung Latin that way.
I'd be a great Latin singer if only I could I'd be a great Latin speaker if only I could just sing
everything. Yeah. So, yeah. Ready to give it a shot?
I'm ready.
Yeah, you can do it.
All right.
Yeah.
The boar's head in hand bear I, bedecked with bays and rosemary. And I pray you, my masters, be merry. Quot estis in convivio. Caput, apri, defero, Reddens, laudes, Domino. The boar's head, as I understand, is the rarest dish in all this land, which thus bedecked with a gay garland, let us servire cantico. Caput, apri, defero, Reddens, laudes, Domino. Our steward hath provided this in honor of the King of Bliss, which on this day to be servèd is in Reginensi atrio. Caput, apri, defero, Reddens, laudes, Domino. Caput, apri, defero, Reddens, laudes, Domino. Hey, there you go!
Look at that. You learned some Latin.
Yep. If you're bringing out, you're bringing out ham for Christmas dinner, just bust this one out.
We're now expecting that, and if you, again, video or it didn't happen. Yep. Yeah. And we do eat ham here as well, so we're going to have to incorporate that as well.
No, it's going to happen.
Yep. Oh boy. Yikes. Masks are still a thing. Rush shipping.
Yep.
And still some cool stuff going on over the next few weekends here. Fun, free things. I don't know.
That's all I got.
All right. Hey, be safe. We love you. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye.